Battling through adversity is something we all endure to our paths to success. To reach the top, you need to remain open to learning new things with a growth mindset while staying true to yourself with resilience and strength. It's a difficult balancing act, and it's one that our next guest conquered on his path to Olympic glory. Joined by Kayla Gray from Sports Center, this is Andre DeGrasse.
Andre DeGrasse, the Scarborough-born sprinter, is a Canadian sports legend. Inspired by his mother, a sprinter from Trinidad and Tobago, DeGrasse found a fighter spirit to achieve his dreams. Now, he's a 10-time Olympic and World Championship sprint medalist, an elite athlete built for adversity, and he's never slowing down. Andre leads and inspires others through the Andre DeGrasse Family Foundation, which has been empowering youth across Canada. DeGrasse is living proof that it's not just talent, but persistence and perseverance that carry you across the finish line.
I don't wanna dance, but you're making me dance. Yeah, I don't wanna dance, but you're making me. I don't wanna dance, but you're making me dance. Yeah, I don't wanna dance, but you're making me dance. Yeah,
Elevate. Brr, brr, brr. No, we don't do reggae horns here. Come on, elevate. We all here. It's 2 o'clock. We're up, right? Yes. I'm still kind of on a high because I was with Andre yesterday. He held a big Casa Loma event, bougie thing, foundation, charity event. Andre DeGrasse, thank you so much for taking the time. It's so funny because we're backstage and Andre is also watching his video. I'm like, how much do you like to hear about yourself? It's fine. We're all honest here. Also, y'all are real serious here at Elevate. We got 15 minutes. They will play us off this stage with music, so you better keep your answers tight, Andre. How does it feel, first and foremost, to be back in the city?
It feels amazing. I mean, I don't get a chance to come back home much often, so it's always good to.
Oh, we need mics. Mics. We can't hear. Wait, check. They really want to keep you quiet. Hold on.
That's what I was wondering.
Wait, check. Can we hear him now?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Can we get the 2 minutes
That's
back?
how's everyone doing? I was like,
Okay. Now, I'm like the high and he's the low. I think we say he's like the yin-yang type of situation, but he's not that quiet. How does it feel to be back in Toronto?
It feels great. It feels amazing. I mean, it's always good to come back to the city where I'm from, see my family, see my friends. Of course, we had that event last night. It was amazing. So, now I'm just waking up.
Oh, great. Well, let's don't worry. We will we'll be fine. Speaking of family, finally got to meet Beverly for the first time, who is your mother, celebrating her birthday yesterday, but also a big part of your why and reason as to why track is a passion of yours. Can you tell me a bit about her influence?
Oh, yeah, for sure. My mom, she grew up in Trinidad. She immigrated here to Canada. And then I was born, I'm a true Canadian. And so she did it in high school. It's funny because, growing up, I loved to play basketball, soccer. I got into all those, team aspect sports. And she always wanted me to do track. But I always brushed it off and was like, I don't want to do it. But she really wanted me to do it. And then when she saw that I, started it in my last year of high school, she was so happy.
That's when she became proud of you.
She was elated. She was elated. She was like, yes, use that, go off to school with it, get a scholarship, and I swear she watches my videos like 100 times a day. So it's like, if she was here today, she would be watching that nonstop.
Yeah, probably making edits. Can you just change that one thing? You mentioned basketball. I always ask you if that's your biggest regret because you always bring up basketball.
Yeah,
You also played soccer. What went into making the decision to stick with track?
Yeah, for me, I knew, I really didn't know. I guess it was mostly, Tony, my first coach, Tony Sharp. He's my mentor, my first coach that got me into it. He just told me I had a gift. He's like, I feel like you have a gift to pursue this sport, take it to a high level. And, basketball was going good for me, but at the same time, no one had really told me something like that before, your coaches say a few things, but there's so many athletes they got to manage. So when you have a guy like, Tony just saying, hey, you can go to the Olympics, you can, be one of the fastest guys in the world. And as a kid, that's everything you want to hear, right? You're like, oh, wow, this guy's actually telling me he could believe in me. And it makes you want to believe in yourself. So when he told me that, he helped me get that transition, go off to school, get a scholarship to the U.S. That was everything I needed to push myself to make it to that next level.
So wild that Tony was like, hey kid, one day you might be the fastest child in the world, person in the world. Tony was right. When you think about kind of the first time you're getting out on the track, you're taking this thing serious, I want to bring you back to that level of compete and the feeling of compete. What was it that became so addictive for you?
Just the idea of just being so fast,
Just being so good.
Like literally, like just going out there and winning. When I won my first race, it was just an incredible feeling. It's something that was like a high that I never experienced. It felt like when you hit when I was playing basketball, you hit the game-winning shot. It's just like you win that race. You're looking around, you see the time. And, the crowd, now, it's different. Like, you're at the Olympics, you have 40, 50,000 people watching you cross the line and, especially on TV. So it's just an incredible feeling. So for me, that's all it took. It's just like that one little step where I was like, all right, now I'm running fast. And now I can kind of take that to the next level and do what I do.
I think your career is such a testament to adversity, but also discipline, routine, very regimented. No, he did not just wake up at this time of day. He was up actually way early this morning, of course. What did your level of compete also teach you about commitment, and what sacrifices were made in order for you to uphold that?
I think it's just my family. My family, just believing in me. And my mom, she just basically was like, hey, doing all the necessary groundwork to get me there to that next level and say, I want you, help me get ready for school, help me get ready to be at that, because it's different. Like in track, it's different than when I played basketball in a team sport where, it's kind of individual sport. So now you have to kind of find, a coach, you got to find a track, you got to find the perfect environment. So just having my family there, helping me every step of the way, being able to do that was super meaningful to me. And that kind of helped me say, hey, all right, now I got to figure out how to, now I can make these sacrifices to say, all right, now I got to go to bed on time, hydrate, do all the necessary things that it takes to be an elite athlete, right? So, of course, that's what it all takes to be the best, especially when you're in a sport that once every 4 years is the Olympics. So you're gearing up towards that every single year to try to make those sacrifices to get there.
What I was gonna follow up and say was, what was the toughest learning curve for you?
Toughest learning curve? Just being able to be disciplined, I guess, right? Because as a kid, coming into the sport at 17, 18 years old, there's a lot of discipline that you have to have, right? You have to be able to be dedicated. You have to have that work ethic. Being able to say, hey, I got to wake up in the mornings to go to training. Just like you guys. Whatever you guys do in your daily life, you got to stay dedicated. Keep that same work ethic to be able to be at the top of your game. So for me, that was really important for me to continue to keep going, stay disciplined, and just keep it moving, right? So.
I want to talk to you about relay because one thing about you, I think outside of the track, outside of the sports space, is you're a very collaborative person. Community is at your core. What is it like to, yes, know you're great, but also to challenge others to be great, but then also do a little bit of letting go of ego to build for yourself as well?
Wait, say that one more time.
Still working on that,
Yeah,
huh? Still working on that ego part,
Yeah,
huh? No, your relay team, obviously finding success, of course, this season.
Yeah.
How is it building with other people and knowing that it's not just you moving the team forward, it's a collective thing, and how do you guys communicate?
Yeah, that's totally different. I was talking to the guys, and of course I was talking about this yesterday, that, when you're in your individual sport, I'm running the 100 meters, 200 meters, you're with your coach, you're with your environment, but after that's over, you have a couple of days of rest, and you're like, okay, now it's time to get with the guys and actually get together, come up with a game plan, and be able to have that teamwork ethic. So for us, we were talking about telling people yesterday that, we in the Olympics, we actually stay together in one quad, right? So we all have our own room in a quad, and we're all together as one. We're playing dominoes, we're playing cards, we're going out, we're going to eat at the cafeteria. So we're just bonding, building that bond, building that trust with one another. And we've done that for the past 2 Olympic Games and in between the World Championship as well. So for us, it's like, we have that chemistry, we have that trust in one another, and now we just got to go out there and do what we do. We practice, we practice it all the time. Of course, getting to stick around is the hardest part of the race, but we all have the foot speed, but just being able to just get that baton around. You see a lot of countries mess up. We just had to continue to trust one another and practice and believe in each other's abilities that, hey, we're going to be able to get the job done when it matters most. So definitely as time goes on, I think just us coming together and being together as one unit all the time, and seeing each other and being friends, knowing each other's family, that kind of helps along the way as well.
See how he talks the most about other people? Well, we're going to talk about you now.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to bring up the team because, of course, the gold that you guys had won. But for you specifically, this was a very tough year for you. Foot injury, then dealing with COVID. What was it like to go through all of those hurdles and see it to the other side?
Yeah, for me, I've learned that some things you just can't control, right? There's always going to be ups and downs along the road. We talked about this. It's a roller coaster. It's always a ride. And I just have to tell myself that, things are going to, there's going to be adversity along the way. But you have to continue to just really stay resilient, stay dedicated, and never give up on what you truly believe and what your passion is. So for me, I knew I had a tough year, but for me, I know I've had those years. I've had ups and downs. I've been here before, and I know I can get past this bump on the road. So for me, that's all I think about. And like now, I'm like, all right, and I got to shift my focus. This year it was over. Now I'm going to focus on 2023 and try to get ready for that World Championship, and then use that as a stepping stone for the Paris Olympic Games.
I mean, of course, you continue to compete this year, but save space here.
Yeah.
Was there ever a point where you're like, nah, let's pack this up, and I'll see y'all next year?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it was tough. I mean, going out there and not being your best. You always want to go out there and be the best, and put your best on the line, and show everyone that you're capable of, being the best, right? But of course, I had to tell myself that I'm going to go out here and try. I'm going to go out here and put my pride to the side and see what I can do, and see what I can make it happen. Of course, it didn't go as well as I wanted it to go, but I think it ended up being good, because I'm like, well, even though I didn't do good in my individual events, I was able to take away something from it and have a good success with my relay guys and win a gold medal with them.
I'm always curious to ask you this question, because I think when we see Andre, right, we see a couple of memories that pop up into mind, a couple of memes even, but a couple of course, iconic moments at the Olympics.
Yeah.
So when you're watching these videos back, I'm wondering, that moment's not too far behind for us, but how far behind is it for you?
Yeah, it's pretty far, because I'm always focused on. I find myself I'm always focused on the next task, the next goal. Something else that I want to accomplish. I'm like, okay, I accomplished that. Now I want to, move forward and accomplish something else, right? So, of course, you get reminded here and there from from the fans and from your family and friends. I remember that moment, with Usain Bolt, or you winning the Olympics, and all these things. But you're like always like trying to tell yourself, I want, you want so much more. You want to continue to keep getting better and better every single day. And that's what we're here. We're always trying to find our purpose in life. So for me, it's like, I always tell myself like, yeah, it's cool. I look back, I reminisce a little bit, but I'm always like trying to focus on that next big thing, and try to focus on that next big goal, and just try to, cement my legacy.
I mean, there's probably something within us, that's why we're all here today, that has that drive, need and success, and to keep growing and building. But maybe you can give us some advice for the moments that we take some time for pause.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course, you want to, of course, for me, when doing these events, like yesterday, that's kind of like a time for myself. I just launched my red wine last night. Of course, you were there. Those are the times that I kind of just like kick back and be like, okay, wow, I soak it all in and be like, wow, this is amazing. This is something that I can just relax, enjoy the moment. Of course, I always want to try to live in the moment, and of course, that's pretty tough. I think for all of us, we're always, like I said, we're always trying to look at the next big thing. But yesterday gave me a chance to reminisce and just live in that moment and say, all right, look at the things I've accomplished, look at the things I've done, and just kind of be content, a little bit of content, but be happy with yourself and be happy with all the things that you've done in your career and in your life. So for me, that's what I kind of do, and of course, if you have a glass of red wine, that's
Here he
a moment to
goes.
pause, right?
Here he goes. I know, I heard a clap for the wine. Yes, we clap for the wine. Because when we look at Andre DeGrasse, I think you're a unicorn in a sense, and I tell you this all the time, of you're booked and busy always. If it's not GoDaddy, it's a Subway commercial, it's a wine, it's a children's book, it's a something. Where does that come from?
I think I just try to expand my horizon, right? I want to be more, more than an athlete. I love running fast. It's obviously the most fun thing I do, but I just try to, I want to, do other things and expand my network, expand things that I always wanted to do. Of course, I love meeting new people, doing new things, or trying new things. So that's kind of, I guess, those experiments that I go throughout my daily life. Because I think if I just always focused on track and focused on being an athlete, it would kind of get boring. So I think for me, it's like it brings excitement and enjoyment to do other things and just have fun experiencing other things. So of course I get to meet cool people like you, right?
Oh, thanks, Andre. I was about to say, beating people all the time is boring. I don't know that feeling. But being a father and also just being someone who uses their platform so much to stay within community, why is it so important with the position that you've been given to do so?
Yeah, I just wanted to use my platform to give back. I mean, I was fortunate enough to have that opportunity. My first coach, Tony Sharp, was able to help provide those resources for me and find people to sponsor and get me to competitions and get me to the stage that I am right now and being able to go to my first Olympics. So I just wanted to be able to do that exact same thing, right, for these kids. There's so much talent, not just in Toronto, but in all of Canada. All these kids, they're so talented, but all they need is a little push, right? So for me, that's what it's all about. I just try to use my platform to just try to give back, and that's why I wanted to start my own foundation and do these things. And we've gotten so much great success. I've seen so many kids go off to college.
Yes, there was so many scholarship recipients in the building
and
too.
now they're doing great. They're doing great things. I always hear all the great stories that look, my first coach, he plays a big role in that. So it's good that he tells me stories all the time. This kid's doing that. This kid's doing that. This kid's gonna be the next you. So it's it's awesome. So it makes me feel good. Makes me feel like I have a purpose. Than other than just running fast. And yeah, so
that doesn't scare you a little bit. This kid's gonna be the next you. You're like, wait a second. We got a minute left before our music plays. So maybe I ask you this question: what is next for you?
Yeah, what's next for me? I mean, of course, you already know my story on the track. Of course, we have the 2024 Paris Olympic Games, but off the track, I just try to find things that, suit me. I just actually did a TV show the other day. I did a little acting role, so
he's
I'm
acting
trying
now.
things. Yeah, I'm acting. I'm doing things in the investment side, real estate, tech. Of course, this event is amazing. So I'm just trying to expand my network and do things that I find passionate and I love. So for me, definitely, of course, I'm gearing up for the next Olympic Games. But I mean, for me now, I'm just trying to slow down a bit. I'm in off season and continue to be a good father. So right now, I got 2 kids at home, waiting for me. So yeah.
Can't wait to get back to the babies. All right, well, thank you so much, Andre, for all that you do first and foremost and all that you are. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to come out and listen to the amazing Andre DeGrasse.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Our music.